Hi everyone, welcome to this new iPitting tutorial dedicated to iRacing painters or team managers. This time we will speak about iRacing car paints, tools for driver customizations, and for a better paint production and delivery workflow. In our team, we love working on beautiful car paints, and we love when we can customize it for each teammate with his driver name, personal colors, etc. If you try to do that manually, the first problem, each time you need to paint a car, is that you need to manage this customization in your Photoshop file. You can manage that with customized layer or groups of layer, but it's really time consuming and it can become a source of error too. You also need time between toggling the right layers and exporting it to TGA files, and it's something you have to do manually for each driver and for each car paint. And when you finally spend time to get all your TGA, problems are not over. Now it's time to deliver your paints, so you need to push the TGA files somewhere. Then you need to notify your mates a new paint or changes in a paint are available. Each driver needs to take note of that. Of course, it can take more time between a mate from another, and it is something easy to forget too. And finally, each teammate have to do the job by uploading their paints on Training Paint. And because of all these steps, it's easy to have something really messy and to be in a situation where all your mates doesn't race with the same library version, for example. To improve the workflow, reduce wasted time, and have something more professional in your team, we will set together, on this tutorial, a workflow based on this directory file and structure. First, we will create a paint folder to group all our resources. The first element we will add on it will be a templates folder. This folder will contain a list of all your teammates, their name, their nickname maybe, favorite colors, etc. Every variable you need from them. Into it, we will create a folder for each car. It will contain the images specific to the car, of course, but also an iPitting script or an iPitting macro connected to the driver lists. This tool will process for you all the exports, including the customization process. So by doing the script once, you will have all your drivers, and this script will feed a folder for each driver. Of course, the process will be the same for each car you want to paint in your garage, and for each livery. This script will generate a new TGA file to the driver repository. And finally, on the next chapter, we will see how to help synchronizing the driver repository to his Trading Paint account using an iPitting tool too. And it will avoid the manual upload, which is also time consuming for the driver. And we will see how to centralize it from the team manager side once. Okay, now comes the interesting part. Let's do it for real. In my hard disk, I will create a folder and I will name it Paint. And into it, I will create a subfolder named Templates. Okay, so if you check, you have Paints and then Templates. It's okay. Let's open iPitting, go to Tools, and open the library variation shop. First, we will create our driver list. So go to the List tab, and here I will fill the grid with data, driver variable if you want, which I need to do my variations. So in var1, I will put the nickname, in var2, the full name, and in var3, the color code, for example. For this example, I will do it a second time here. And an important column to fill is the output directory. And to match the structure we've just seen, I will put parent folder, and John. And for the second, it will be the same syntax. So backslash backslash Alex. Okay, now I will click on the Save button to save the list, and I will put it on the template folder, and I will name it My Team. And I will go back to my template folder. Under it, I will create a first car folder for the Ford Mustang, for example. And even if it's not mandatory, I will back up my Photoshop file in it. If I have a look at it, you can see there is two group of layer in this Photoshop file. One which is called base, which is the main library for all the drivers. And on top of that, there is a folder just for the customization with the color of the driver, its name, etc. The first thing I want to do is to export the common layers to a PNG which is called base.png. And now I will export the opposite, the customization layer, to a custom example.png. I name it example because it still contains the XXX text holder, but it will be easier for me to work. And then I will disable this text layer and I export for real to custom.png. So if I go back to my folder now, you can see there is base.png plus custom.png, and with iPitting I can create a script to merge all together. At this time I will also have a look on Trading Paint's site. So go in My Paint, find the car you're working on to get the ID, which is located in the before last segment of the URL. So here it's 199. Okay, so go in iPitting again, open the library variation shop, and for now we will create a new project in our folder. And my advice is to name the car with the syntax the Trading Paint ID under squared bracket and the name of the car. If you have a look on the folder, you can see this new file, which is the iPitting project, where you can see a link to the base.png file. If you want to include the spec map on your project, on the same row, add a semicolon character on the same line, and then the file name of your MIP file. So if you do that, don't forget to put the MIP file in your folder too. And now we can have a close look to the layers section. The first layer here is set up to include the custom.png file. I will change it with the custom example PNG file to see my text placeholder. Okay, if you want to zoom, you can use the mouse wheel, and if you want to move, you can drag and drop. So if I look back to the list, you can see I've put a color, a customized color, in the var3 column. So on the image recolorize settings, I will put var3 with this syntax between doctrine brackets, and I click apply. I can pick a driver from my list and click on the preview button, and as you can see, the original image is now recolorized to yellow. If I test it on my second driver, it's now green, so it works. So now we will remove the other layers and we will make from scratch the two text labels. Let's start by clicking on Add New. We can see a very little text comes in very top left. I will start by changing the font and the size. And also the color. For this example, I put black, but of course I can put in all the variable if I want. Then I will go to the place I want in the image, and I will check the little move tool to click somewhere in the image near the location I want. I can use drag and drop to move a little bit the layer. So here I think it's okay. And I will choose a text align right. I will replace the text by the var one with the same syntax. Oh, and I will change the font again. Yeah, this one is perfect. Let's do the same thing for the oval label. Same font, big size, and big width. Text color is black. And the text is to the variable one. I can put variable 2 if I want to test. Okay, but I prefer the one. And same thing, I will use this tool to click somewhere near the location I want. And then I will change the text rotation. So there is a little tip in these boxes. You can use the up or down arrow to increase or decrease the value. And if you press shift at the same time, you can make bigger increments. So I just need to find the right value to be parallel. Okay, not so bad. I will play with the left and top values with my up and down keyboard key too to adjust it perfectly. I will adjust rotation. Okay. Now I can set the right text size. And I think I'm okay now. I go back to my image layer to switch to the custom.png file to remove the XXX placeholder. I uncheck the text blocks preview, which are the pink rectangles. And if I make a preview, this time I'm very close to the final result. So it's time to save my project file. And now if I want to compute the script, I can click on the Render All TGA Files button, click on the Go button, and drivers folder are created and filled with this new template. So for each driver, you will find a copy of the MIP file, a PNG export, and a TGA export. Let's open them. And as you see, the text is in very high quality with no aliasing. Once everything is in order, it's very easy to do another car. What you can do is simply copy-paste your car folder, to rename the project file with the new trading paint ID and the new car name, and to change all the file in the project, the base, the custom, and the MIP file. When ready, you just have to open this new project in iPitting and to adjust text labels maybe, and do the render again. The second car files comes now in each driver repository. Okay, now comes the second part of this toolkit, which is the Trading Paint uploader. So with the Trading Paint uploader, you can browse to your paints folder, the root, and for each folder containing the TGA files, you can find a wizard to upload it directly to Trading Paints. So the first thing you have to do is to set up an account to a folder. Okay, so for this test, I will use my Trading Paint ID, Alex folder. I put here my password. I can here choose if I want to upload on all my teams or only in my personal car. And I click on the set folder account. Okay. And if I look now in the directory, there is now a new file here, a .td, which contains exactly what you feel here, except the password, which is obviously encrypted. So if your drivers want to share you the password, you can find it here. And if they prefer not sharing the password with you, they can obviously generate the file on their computer and send you the TD file, for example. So when it's done, you can use this specific file browser. So you can choose to select all, for example. It will upload the 4 library, or you can make a manual selection. Or what you can do is also to use this little finder. So if I want to upload all the ZDL one, I can type here, select all, and you see we'll check the 2 lines corresponding to the ZDL one. So the Alex and the John ZDL one. When I'm okay with the selection, I click on select. And now there is my upload list. And if I click on upload, you will see each row corresponding to a thread, and it will connect to Trading Paint, upload the file to Trading Paint, and log out to Trading Paint. So this tool is really nice to use because if you are the painter, you can just put the file in the directory, and you can, with this tool, upload for all your teammates. They don't need to manually do the operation on tradingpaint.com website anymore. So it's really easy. You can put all files you want in the driver folder. The only things you need to know is how to name the files. So you can have a little wizard here. So the first important thing is obviously the core ID. And if you want to set a specific team ID for the car, it's the second number here in this syntax. And after that, you can name it for whatever. So obviously, if you are a painter, I really recommend you to purchase a pro license of Trading Paints because it's really great platform, and in my opinion, they deserve it. So of course, if the TGA file is alone, it will upload it alone. And if a spec map MIP file is in the same folder with the same name, it will upload it too. And you will also see the upload is pretty quick because if there is only a TGA file in the directory, it will first convert it to PNG24 with the same quality, and it will upload the PNG file, which is a file very lighter. I hope you will appreciate this toolkit, and I hope it will simplify the workflow of many painters, many team painters. So if you like it, remember, these 2 tools are included in the free version of Live Companion, so it's my gift to the iRacing community once again. And of course, if you love it, you can always make a donation or buy a pro version of iPitting too. Thanks for watching this video, and see you next time.